The following part of the conference will be in English. There will be 2 short lectures of 10 minutes each, and I would like to welcome Madja Hrženjak for her short lecture on what do the CarMiA results tell us about gender norms, gender-based violence, and the role of boys and men. Madja is sociologist and researcher from the Peace Institute in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Her research focuses on the concept of care in relation to gender, intersectional inequalities, migration, citizenship, and the feminist ethics of care.
What a beautiful view. Good morning also from my part, and thank you, Eli, thank you, VGM, for organizing this beautiful event. A lot has already been said, so I will briefly present some highlights from our state-of-the-art analysis, which we conducted before we have implemented the action in 6 European Union countries: Austria, Bulgaria, Germany, Italy, Slovenia, Spain. Yeah, but I just want to move forward, to move forward the PowerPoint. How can I do that? Yeah.
Press this one down.
Okay. Yeah, Spain, and also all having different gender and educational regimes, different gender-based violence-related policies. We conducted 3 sets of analyses. We checked existing gender-based violence preventive practices with focus on masculinities and peer-to-peer approaches. We did focus groups with professionals, meaning teachers, social workers, youth workers, activists, and consultations with young people. And we are particularly proud that we were able to involve 140 young people in all 6 countries. In majority of them were boys or young men. The aim was to again, huh? You mean this? Okay. The aim was to identify the existing gaps and needs, which helped us in development trainings for professionals and young people to act as change makers in activities in schools. In all involved countries, a review of good practices showed that systematically and in the long run, the state does not fund preventive programs as explicitly addressing young men and masculinity norms, though we observed several such projects in Austria and Germany. With few exceptions, for instance, heroes work with perpetrators, also peer-to-peer approach is almost non-existent. In all countries, NGOs are working hard to systematically integrate gender-sensitive perspective in prevention programs into national educational systems, but this is still a matter of voluntary decision by individual schools and various short-term projects. On the other hand, European Union funded projects like ours developed a wide range of materials and tools, a diversity of approaches covering broad range of different aspects. However, when the project funding stops, all these rich materials are left forgotten in a drawer or fragmented in different web pages, and we find this really quite irrational way of spending European Union money. Consultations with professionals revealed that gender norms have been also actually confirmed what has already been said. Gender norms have been changing, and that topics related to gender identities, gender diversity, sexualities, including alternative models of masculinities are becoming hot issues among young people. However, teachers often do not know how to address these topics. On the other hand, changes in gender norms are addressed also in conservative and populist movements as a crisis of or feminization of masculinity, which is allegedly a consequence of too much gender equality. So traditionalist views are also gaining power, especially among young men. What we can observe in manosphere, incels, toxic masculinity promoted by influencers. According to professionals, rigid masculinity norms are not exclusively but often salient in groups of marginalized young people from working class, migrant or religious backgrounds. And we should keep in mind here that often these young people experience structural violence themselves. Traditional models of masculinity are forcing boys not to show feelings, vulnerabilities, weaknesses, which can trigger violent behavior as a response to feeling misunderstood, oppressed, confused, and lacking support and understanding. Professionals draw attention to diverse forms of violence stemming from traditional concepts of masculinity, which range from physical and verbal violence to homophobia, transphobia, racism, sexism, bullying, hate speech, all present in empirical world and in online. Consultations with young people clearly reveal these polarized attitudes. Some boys have strongly traditional views on masculinity and violence. They argue that boys need to be tough, assertive, show invulnerability, and even fight each other if necessary. On the other hand, there are egalitarian boys who advocate gender equality, respect for diversity between people, expressing their vulnerabilities and resolving conflicts through constructive discussion. However, many boys, actually the majority of them, are somewhere in between and do not express their views. And we think that it is important to address these group dynamics and diversities. Consultations with young people also showed that they have poor understanding of what gender-based violence is. They mainly identify physical and verbal violence. They do not recognize peer violence as gender-based violence. Boys who express greater self-reflection point to gender power relations between bullies and bystanders, who encourages bullies by approval or inaction against violence. They also highlighted the inherent homophobia of masculinity. Young people point also that they experience emotions such as anger, sadness, frustration, fears, the expression of which is socially unacceptable, and that they need skills to manage and communicate such emotions. The normalization of unpleasant emotion as a normal part of everyday life seems to be an important topic, especially with boys who consider them as their weaknesses, which has to be hidden. The body is one of the central topics with boys. The group dynamics within boys revealed the domination of boys who embody the social norms of how a male body should look like. It seems important to cultivate diversity of masculinity not only according to class, sexuality, orientation, race, but also according to non-standard bodies. Young people anticipate relational gender dynamics. Although peer opinion is very important among boys, in their doing masculinity, they also respond to girl stereotypes of what a real man should look like. Although working in a gender homogeneous groups has its advantages, the discussion in gender mixed groups, including non-binary young people about gender stereotypes, also seems to be very important. And we found out that online role models, films, videos, theater plays, role-play games, quiz methods provoke lively self-discussion among young people, and in particular, they are hungry of discussion about real-life examples relevant to them, such as friendships, relations, love, sexuality, body appearance, and so on. All in all, The pedagogical approach named in CarMiA as norm critic and resource strengthening seems to be very much needed among boys, among young people, among boys in particular, and among professionals, while norm critic encourages young people to self-reflect masculinity, gender, and other power relations. Resource strengthening provides empowerment of their potential for acting beyond gender stereotypes and for nonviolent behavior. Here are some experts from interviews as a teaser for you that you Google CarMiA transnational report and check out for more information. Thank you.